I'll be brief. From what, with due respect to Senator Lero, who said lion share to the Southwest, when will Southeast even have lion share in any particular project? Mr. President, if this is an omission, it is an expensive omission. The Southeast cannot continually to be treated the way Nigeria is treating the Southeast. Let me give you an instance. Out of the dams that were listed here on the Southeast, Ivo Dam was last funded about 12 years ago with a 5 billion naira spent on it, and it has been abandoned by Nigeria for the last 12 years. I had written 3 letters to the Ministry of Water Resources. We have done everything possible to see if they can bring up Ivo Dam. And here, a zone is allocated 66 billion, and the entire South is at 0. What kind of omission is that, Mr. President?
Thank you.
We should be treated better than this, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Senator...
Mr. President, I think we should be very mindful of commenting on the infrastructure renewed hope project, because we should see it holistically. This is just a segment of the renewed hope agenda on the infrastructure. We have a road infrastructure, we have power infrastructure, we have other, let me learn, please. Yes. Mr. President, I have the floor, and let me
you are protected.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. President. So, in doing this, we should consider what has been allocated in the other sectors. I'm not saying that the Southeast should be excluded. No, on the contrary, they should also be included, but we have to bear in mind what the whole infrastructure project are all about. Development of the whole country, irrespective of the state and zone.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So, of recent, there was a release of over 1.3 trillion naira, and the Southwest had the lion's share. And I believe if you go deep into it, if you check the ministry's budget, you will see some balancing. And this thing is just being released gradually.
Thank you for the guidance.
So we shouldn't jump into conclusion.
Thank you for the guidance.
We shouldn't just jump into conclusions.
Thank you,
that
Mr.
is
President.
Imbalance, that is sidelining. Rather, we should wait till we get the true picture. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, I just want to talk generally. You see, this is a very good issue. That's pointing out something that's going on. Many of us have been crying of marginalization. Many of us have cried on several issues where North completely was neglected. And I'm sure this may not be the end. Mr. President, no, I want you to hear this story. You are the policy makers. I want to draw the attention of the makers of the Renewed Hope agenda. I want them to bear in mind that every part of this country is part of Nigeria, and every part of this country deserves infrastructural development. It is not wise in allocating resources to sometimes over-allocate to one zone at the expense of other zones. Here on this floor, I talk about the way Northeast was completely neglected in terms of road infrastructure, where trillions are being spent on some section of the country, no cover is being spent in the Northeast. We said it. We also raised the issue of agriculture, where money was being allocated to some zones, and our zone was not there. So, Mr. President is for Nigeria, and it's for other Nigerians. The makers of this Hope agenda should be advised to bear in mind the diversity and the necessity to cover every section of this country in allocated resources. It's not only this one. There are so many areas, and that if we want to go through one by one, we will continue to debate. So I think there's general need for them to review their position and ensure that every part of this country, whether southeast, southwest, south-south, northeast, we all need development, and we need to be allocated adequately and fairly and equitably in whatever they do. That's my comment. Thank you.
Thank you. I have just...
Mr. President,
Senator Aliyu,
my dear colleagues, Mr. President, a very ordinary person. Mr. President, in support of what Alero has just observed, I want to also point out that look at the prayer of the move of this motion, asking for 380 billion, which is bigger put together than all other applications in all zones. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Let's be guided by common sense and reasoning. Thank you. I do also.
Senator,
I would like to do a simple correction that was not in the bill. There's, Mr. President, in seconding the motion, I would like to add one or two things because my colleague omitted the Uzuakole, Ibere, Umbuhu, and Abam, and Aruchuku Dam. The dams are there. This is the best rice they cultivate. We have more rice than even Ebony State.
Thank you. So seconded. Thank you very much.
I seconded the motion with amendment to the Secretariat. In the
thank you very much. Thank you.
Mr. President, I just rise to support this motion and to say that that oversight should be corrected. But at the same time, Mr. President, if you look at number 8, you see Upper Niger River Development Agency. And then you have North Central and Northwest, Mr. President, with a meager 24 billion. While a combined something of Adeja and Jumare agency has 66. I just want to plead that in making the adjustment, the case for North Central should be adjusted to be in pari passu with the other zones. Thank you, Mr. President.
I'm sure they are listening. They will correct their anomaly. Okay, Senator.
Including the Appropriation Act. Also note that the National Appropriation Act is the most important policy and legal instrument through which the federal government allocates resources for national development, ensuring equitable distribution of resources and socio-economic transformation. Aware that in the 2025 Appropriation Act, the sum of 3.2 trillion Naira was allocated under the Renewed Hope Infrastructure Development Fund, out of which 380 billion was earmarked specifically for irrigation development projects to be implemented through the various river basin development authorities as part of the federal government's strategy to boost agricultural production, ensure food security, and create jobs across the country. Observe that although the intention of the project is national, the actual implementation plan are designed excluded Anambra-Imo River Basin Development Authority, which is the only river basin authority serving the entire southeast geopolitical zone. Also observe specifically that the current breakdown as allocation as follows. 1, I run the breakdown of the...
No, just go ahead. It's depicted on the motion, so just move ahead. You don't need to read that.
Okay. Concerned that the total exclusion of Southeast Geopolitical Zone and Anambra-Imo River Basin Development Authority from this critical national development intervention is not only unjustifiable, but also contradicts the spirit of equity, justice, and balanced development that forms the cornerstone of the Renewed Hope agenda of Mr. President. Also concerned that Southeast Zone is blessed with vast arable and fertile land across Enugu, Ebonyi, Imo, Abia, and Anambra State, and has historically contributed significantly to Nigeria's agricultural sector, wheat cash crops such as oil palm, cassava, yam, rice, and vegetable. Recognizing that a recent open data source report indicates that the Southeast accounts for over 30% of national yam production, produces over 15% of Nigerian cassava, and remain a major hub for rice farming through schemes like IFAD, VCDP, and FADAMA project, among others. Cognizance that there are ongoing and proposed irrigation projects and dams across the region that would readily benefit from the Renewable Infrastructure Fund, including, but not limited to, Ozara, Okangu, Agro-Business Cluster, which is federal government project. Yeah. The Ivo Dam Irrigation Project, Itemamwego Rice Farm Dam, Amwazere Et Dam, and Ifite Ogware Omo Dam in Anambra State. We worry that the exclusion of these projects of national importance and other critical interventions not only risk undermining the region's agricultural potential and the current administration's economic rejuvenation effort, but could also deepen the perennial perception of marginalization and inequity in federal project and resource distribution. Concerned that the 10th Senate, as corrective Senate, constitutional guardian of equity, unity, and national cohesion, should act to address this strategic oversight in the spirit of national interest, equity, and sustainable development. Accordingly resolve the prayers. 1, urge the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, through the Federal Ministries of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Water Resources and Sanitation, to urgently address the observed imbalance in the allocation of the 380 billion Renewed Hope Infrastructure Fund for food security and irrigation development. 2, set up an ad hoc committee to investigate the remote and immediate causes of this strategic oversight that resulted in the exclusion of Southeast, and report back to Senate within 4 weeks for further legislative action. Thirdly, mandate the Honorable Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation to make provision under omnibus or discretionary allocation within the 2025 budget to urgently intervene in the irrigation infrastructure deficit in the southeastern region. Finally, mandate the Senate Committee on Legislative Compliance to ensure the timely and effective implementation of this resolution. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I hereby submit.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
have a second and then we'll go to prayer, because this, I think, is probably an issue, is something that can be dealt with administratively. I told him that we can call the minister, talk to him, or the DG budget, that there's an omission here, and that will be corrected. Because as human beings, we cannot be perfect all the time. It could be a genuine omission, right? So, and it is on that premise that the leader just approached me now. We've taken it upon ourselves, the leadership will interface with the relevant, office of the executive arm of the government, so that we can resolve this issue. It's not something, it's our government. And we have a president that listens to the plight of his people. We have never gone to him to ask for anything of this kind of thing. this kind of thing without, getting resolved immediately. Somebody who listens. And even the ministers, they always listen. Whatever we bring to them that are in the interest of the nation, they listen and get that done. So let us not over debate this matter. We have just consulted. We'll, go ahead and meet the relevant office to sort out this matter. What we need is result, to see that there's equity in the distribution of the wealth of this country. And we know the government is doing very much in respect to that. So please, let's not overflow this issue. Leader, can you just wait 1 or 2 words so that we get this in line with what is discussed with you right now, so that we can move ahead?
Well, thank you, Mr. President, and we heard ourselves very clearly and very loudly as well.
And I believe it's an issue that can be debated all day, because in every geopolitical zone that you turn to, there will be one issue or the other that they would have wished were handled differently. My own humble appeal to our colleagues, and by way of also a motion, is to say that we step down further consideration of this motion to allow time for the leadership of this Senate to interface with the Honorable Minister of Water Resources. Luckily, the mover of this motion, distinguished Senator Engineer Kenneth Emeka Eze, is the one coordinating for us right now the Senate Committee on Water Resources. So he's the deputy chairman, and as far as I'm concerned, we will also work with him and his committee in interfacing with the Federal Ministry of Water Resources, and then we'll revert back to this house. I so move.
So you move for the